Hello and welcome back to Kim Reads as we continue with the Haunted Carousel. Chapter 9, Nocturnal Break-In. The red-headed girl hurried over to Nancy's car and said, "I recognize you from your picture in the paper. I'm Joy Trent, Miss Drew. I must seem like an awful pest." "Not at all," Nancy smiled. "I'm happy to meet you. I understand you have a mystery you help, you I understand you'd like me to help you solve." Joy nodded. "It'll take a while to tell you about it. Unfortunately, I have a meeting with our family lawyer in about 15 minutes. Could you possibly come to lunch tomorrow at my house? We don't live too far from each other." "Of course, Joy," Nancy assented. "That would be nice. Besides, we can talk a lot more comfortably than we can in the parking lot. I live at 52 Sycamore Lane, by the way." With a grin and a wave of her hand, Joy went back to her car, then turned to call out, "Around 12, be all right?" "Fine," Nancy responded. The red-haired girl slid beside the wheel and with a soft, throaty purr from the car's powerful engine drove out of the lot. Nancy watched the sleek foreign sports car model admiringly. Then she walked into the amusement park, hoping to find Leo Novak on duty at the Carousel. As it turned out, she was in luck. The glum-faced concierge looked none too happy to see Nancy, but when he found out she had come to ask about the former owner's daughter, his manner loosened up and he talked willingly. "Sure, I remember Nina Ogden. Pretty girl. She and I were about the same age. Wouldn't have minded going out with her myself, but old man Ogden never paid me enough in those days to show a real good time." Anyhow, Novak's lips tightened. "She kind of looked down on me." The name of the artist, Walter Cruz, however, rang no bells to his mind. "I don't know saying anything about him or any letters he wrote to her. All I know is she got married to some guy she met in college and moved away. Last time I saw her was when Mr. Ogden died. She inherited the Wonderland Gal, so I bought it from her." "Do you happen to remember her married name or where she was living then?" Novak frowned thoughtfully, then shrugged and shook his head. "Afraid not, sorry." Nancy was disappointed that she would not be able to provide Professor Jenner with any useful information. However, she felt that Nina Ogden's married name and last known address could probably be obtained from the official records of her father's death. The next morning, shortly after breakfast, Nancy received a phone call from an upset Joy Trent. "Our house was broken into last night," she reported. "Oh dear, I'm sorry to hear that, Joy. Was anything taken?" "We're not sure yet. My aunt's checking now." "Nancy, could you come a bit earlier than we planned and look into this? Maybe you can help the police in some way." "Of course I can," Nancy said soothingly. "Would 11 be all right?" "Thanks, that'd be great." Joy sounded relieved as she hung up. Nancy had just turned from the telephone when the shrill began. This time her caller was Police Chief McGinnis. "I've checked out the information for you, Nancy, about any trouble that occurred near the park at the same time the Carousel played at night. There's only one case that fits, and that's the theft of a boat on the river. It happened just below the hill on which Riverside Park is located." McGinnis added that the theft had occurred during the merry-go-round's last spooky outburst on Monday night, which was the same night that Nancy and Ned kept watch. "That's interesting, Chief," the girl sleuth replied. "I suppose the police have the name and address of the boat owner?" "Sure, do you want that information?" "Yes, please, it might be helpful." "Oh, then here it is. Do you have a pencil and paper handy?" Nancy said yes. He dictated the information. "One last thing, Chief. A friend of mine just told me your house was broken into last night. The Trents on Sycamore Lane. Do you have anything on that?" "Hang on, Nancy. We'll see." A few moments later, the police chief's hearty voice came back on the phone. Well, this may interest you, Nancy. It seems we got an anonymous phone tip about the burglary. The dispatcher sent a police car to the scene. Apparently it interrupted the heist, but the crooks got away." Nancy thanked Chief McGinnis and hung up thoughtfully. "That's odd," she said out loud. This was the second time in just a few days that the police had been tipped off about the criminals who in some way were involved with their own sleuthing. First had come up with a phone tip on Tuesday, which Professor Doyle had mentioned, about Fingers Malone and Baldy Krebs being seen in Riverside Park. And now, last night, there was another about the break-in at Joy Trent's house. And both tips had been proven correct. Is there some connection, Nancy wondered, or is this all just a coincidence? The second call, of course, could have been phoned in by some neighbor or even a passerby who did not wish to become involved. Just then, Nancy heard the clock in the living room begin to chime the hour. She glanced at her wristwatch. Goodness, if she was going to pick up Hannah's orders from the market before going to Joy's house, she better hurry. Quickly changing into a pale linen dress and a pair of white dress sandals, Nancy transferred her wallet, makeup, and keys to a slim, white shoulder bag and set off on her errand. Sometime later, having dropped off Hannah's order at home and left her a note, Nancy was turning up at the drivers at the Trent's house. It loomed ahead beyond the trees and shrubbery. A large, impressive-looking stone mansion with a red tile roof. She had come through an arching entrance gateway when a silver-colored two-door sedan passed her on the way out. Nancy caught her breath and did a hasty double take. At the wheel of the car was the same woman she had seen talking to Leo Novak in the amusement park yesterday. Nancy parked in the drive, walked up in the stone steps of the house, and rang the bell. A smiling, silver-haired butler in a black uniform answered the door promptly and ushered her into a spacious, wide-windowed room with comfortable chairs and a baby grand piano. Miss Drew, madam. A thin, middle-aged woman with a disagreeable expression rose from a delicate writing desk and waved Nancy's chair. I'm Joy's aunt. I expect her to be back very shortly. I hope your friend didn't cut her visit short on my account, Nancy probed. I saw a woman driving off just as I arrived. A flash of anger passed over her host's face. She's no friend of mine, the troubled some busybody. As far as I'm concerned, she had no business coming here, and I have no wish to see her again. And that's the end of that chapter. See you.